Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful for You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Bill unveils Luna's master plan. She administered drugs to Will to entangle a billionaire heir. Bill discloses that Luna intended to ensnare Will as the successor to Spencer. Daphne inquires about Carter and Hope. Computed strategies. Bill Spencer reveals the truth. Luna orchestrated everything to conceive. Bed and breakfast. Bill Spencer informs Liam Spencer, Will Spencer, and Katie Logan that Luna Nozawa intentionally drugged Will to conceive a millionaire Spencer heir and secure her position within the family indefinitely, while Daphne questions Carter Walton regarding his relationship with Hope Logan. Friday will unveil cunning tactics and provoke inquisitive inquiries in Los Angeles. Bill's revelation: Luna's pregnancy was a deliberate deception. Bill Spencer informs Liam Spencer. Spencer and Katie Logan believe that Luna Nozawa's actions on Friday were intentional, and this is when Luna's scheme becomes genuinely nefarious. The family is aware that Luna administered drugs to Will. However, what they were unaware of was that Luna intentionally acted to conceive a Spencer heir. Luna not only committed a grave error, but she also meticulously orchestrated this entire scheme to ensnare herself within the billionaire Spencer family indefinitely. The spoilers for Friday's B&B indicate that Bill is elucidating Luna's big plot to his family. Luna intentionally administered drugs to Will, fully aware that it would result in pregnancy. Luna aspired to conceive a child with Spencer. Luna intended to secure her connection to the affluent family by bearing a kid. This constitutes advanced manipulation. Luna did not merely poison Will and inadvertently conceive, she meticulously orchestrated this outcome. She orchestrated this. She intended to ensnare a millionaire heir through pregnancy. What is the family's response upon discovering that Luna's pregnancy was deliberate? What are Will's feelings regarding Luna deliberate's targeting of him due to his status as a Spencer heir? What is Katie's response upon discovering that someone intended to ensnare her son? What is Liam's opinion regarding Luna's strategic plan? The disclosure of Luna's genuine motives alters everything. This was not an error or lapse in judgment, this was premeditated. Luna intentionally administered drugs to Will to achieve pregnancy. Luna desired the Spencer infant. Luna intended to leverage the pregnancy to permanently integrate herself into the billionaire family. The B&B revelations guarantee Bill's disclosure astounds the family. Discovering that Luna orchestrated this entire scheme and intentionally drugged Will to conceive a millionaire heir is appalling. Will has been coping with trauma resulting from being drugged and assaulted. Will has now discovered that it was all premeditated. Luna targeted him explicitly due to his affiliation with the Spencer family. Due to his status as a millionaire heir, Luna sought to ensnare him via pregnancy. This will further destroy Will. Being a victim of violence is one matter. It is an entirely different matter to discover that you were deliberately targeted as part of a strategic plan to penetrate your affluent family. Insights from the B&B spoilers regarding Daphne's inquisitiveness. Daphne questions the relationship between Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, and Hope Logan, Annika Noel, on Friday, and someone is being intrusive. Who is Daphne? What is the reason for her inquiry on the relationship between Carter and Hope? Does Daphne have an interest in Carter? Questioning Hope? Merely being inquisitive? The Friday B&B spoilers indicate that Daphne inquires about their relationship, a euphemism for Daphne is posing intrusive questions. What information does Daphne seek? Are they in a romantic relationship? Are they in a relationship? What is their status? Friday's discussion on strategic plans and inquisitive queries. In Friday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Bill will disclose that Luna intended to ensnare Will in a baby trap to infiltrate the Spencer family, while Daphne poses intrusive inquiries regarding Carter and Hope. Bill exposes fabricated threat from Luna, Hope and Liam's three matchmakers. The Bold and the Beautiful reveals that Bill Spencer will expose the fraudulent Luna Nozawa threat as Hope Logan and Liam Spencer receive assistance from three matchmakers. Will Spencer noticed that Luna was attempting to influence him into developing feelings for her during his recent prison visit. Will unequivocally stated that Luna's proposal would be ineffective, as his primary concern is the welfare of his child. Consequently, it was difficult for Will to witness Luna incarcerated and to comprehend that his unborn child would be at risk. Will recognizes that his infant is undeserving of this predicament, hence he is struggling with the entire circumstance. Bill will reveal Luna's scheme to Will, Liam, and Katie Logan, Heather Tom, on Friday's episode of B&B. Bill will be persuaded that Luna orchestrated the black eye to elicit pity and advocate for another attempt at independence. Considering this, Bill may assert that they cannot capitulate to Luna and allow her to believe she is in control. Bill may contend that they must keep Luna confined and adhere to their proposed custody arrangement. Bill may outmaneuver Luna and leverage his power to have her placed in solitary confinement. This would guarantee the baby's safety and prevent Luna from executing any further antics of this nature. Katie will discuss Liam's future, specifically about his potential with Hope and Beth Spencer, Jordan Gracie. Katie encourages Liam to pursue a romantic reconciliation with Hope, while Deacon Sharp and Brooke Logan Forrester entertain a similar notion during their conversation with Hope at the Forrester showroom. Hope remains uncertain about the future of her connection with Liam. Nonetheless, Deacon will encourage his daughter to embrace her emotions and prevent Liam from slipping away once more. Brooke will concur that Liam and Hope are meant for each other, so she will endorse the notion of them resolving their issues and rekindling their relationship. Katie, Brooke, and Deacon will assume the role of Cupid on Friday's episode, providing Liam and Hope with ample guidance from their matchmakers. Daphne Rose will pose inquiries to Carter Walton on the events involving Hope, prompting Carter to contemplate his shattered engagement and articulate his anguish. The Bold and the Beautiful indicates that Daphne will assist Carter in moving forward, so remain attentive for forthcoming developments regarding these two characters. The late afternoon sunlight angled across the polished glass of Spencer Publications, transforming the Los Angeles cityscape into a glittering mosaic of gold and steel. The tension in Bill Spencer's office was palpable. The room was remarkably silent, except for the subtle hum of the city underneath and the deliberate ticking of the antique clock on the cabinet, a sound that appeared to signify the pulse of the Spencer empire. Bill stood behind his desk, his expression one of stoic serenity, yet beyond that unyielding front was the fury of a man whose family had been targeted, misled, and humiliated by someone he had once felt sympathy for. What he was about to articulate would reverberate through the Spencer family like an explosion. For several days, rumors had circulated regarding the Luna Nozawa controversy, the incarceration, the pregnancy, the allegations of assault and intimidation, but Bill had ultimately uncovered the truth. In characteristic Bill Spencer style, he was unwilling to withhold any harsh detail. Liam Spencer positioned himself opposite his father, teeth clenched, fingers drumming anxiously on the chair's arm. He was incensed, not solely for his brother, but for the potential repercussions this discovery could have on their family's reputation. Next to him, Will Spencer appeared little, with stooped shoulders and eyes obscured by astonishment. He was the favored scion of the Spencer dynasty, the reserved thinker, seemingly the least influenced by his father's merciless nature. However, that innocence had been eradicated, supplanted by trauma, disorientation, and treachery. Katie Logan sat next to her kid, her countenance oscillating between sadness and rage, her mother instincts igniting passionately. She had endeavored to shield Will from the more sinister aspects of the Spencer realm, yet she could not have foreseen that peril would arise from a gentle-spoken young woman such as Luna Nozawa. Bill's voice pierced the silence with precision. She orchestrated it, he asserted, walking behind the desk. This was not a mere terrible accident. Luna intentionally administered drugs to Will. She aimed at him. She desired a Spencer heir, a perpetual entitlement to this family and its accompanying wealth. His tone was frigid, exacting, and unwavering. Liam blinked, unable to comprehend the sheer audacity of his father's statements. "Are you suggesting that she desired to conceive?" he inquired, leaning forward, his brows knitted. Bill acknowledged by forcefully placing a file on the desk. Each action she took, every tear she wept, constituted a component of her meticulously devised scheme. Luna Nozawa feigned victimhood, yet, she is unequivocally not a victim. She is a manipulator who believed she could outwit a Spencer. Will recoiled. His throat tightened as he attempted to breathe, however the words were excessively burdensome. He had been grappling with the emotional repercussions of Luna's actions, the obscured night, the disorientation, the dread of discovering he had been drugged. However, this was distinct. She was aware, he murmured hoarsely. Was she aware of the impact her actions had on me? His voice faltered, the tone unrefined and juvenile. Katie extended her hand towards him, but Will recoiled, gazing vacantly at the metropolitan skyline. His thoughts surged through the recollections, Luna's quavering voice, her declarations of affection, her urgent correspondence from confinement imploring for absolution. Each word now exuded manipulation. Bill's demeanor eased marginally, however his rage simmered just beyond the surface. She did not merely happen upon this, he remarked, his voice diminishing. She arranged it. She administered a medicine to you, Will, because she was fully aware of your identity. You are a Spencer. You are my son. She perceived financial prospects and stability, a lifelong association with the most influential media dynasty in Los Angeles. This was not a matter of love. It pertained to leverage. Katie's eyes glistened with tears. Oh my God, she murmured. She is expecting your grandchild. That one revelation pierced the atmosphere with the intensity of lightning. The term grandchild lingered, simultaneously a blessing and a burden. Bill's jaw clenched. Indeed, he remarked with bitterness. That was precisely her desire. That infant represents her opportunity, her access to our family, our wealth, and our notoriety. He struck his fist against the desk. She is not receiving it. Not under my supervision. In Forrester Creations, rumors circulated more rapidly than silk could be sewn. Daphne Rose, the inquisitive and acerbic new assistant in the design department, was overheard posing a question to Carter Walton that halted him in his tracks. Carter, what is the true nature of your relationship with Hope Logan? She inquired with a flirtatious smile, her tone oscillating between flirting and questioning. Carter blinked, uncertain whether to laugh or to justify himself. Pardon? He inquired, adjusting his tie. Daphne exhibited a sneer. Proceed. It is unreasonable for me to think that nothing is occurring. You and Hope seemed radiant during the recent photo shoot. There exists a palpable chemistry even as somebody without of sight may perceive it. Hope, who had been arranging fabric samples in proximity, became still. Her cheeks reddened as she feigned concentration on the swatches, however Daphne's remarks had struck the room with pinpoint accuracy. Hope had endeavored to maintain professionalism, following her intricate history with Thomas Forrester and Liam Spencer, she had resolved to avoid romantic entanglements in the job. Carter, steadfast, compassionate, and reliable, has served as a subtle form of solace since her emotional distress. Daphne, Hope finally stated, her tone courteous yet assertive, certain matters are confidential. Daphne feigned innocence with a shrug. I am merely inquisitive. One cannot fault a girl for desiring to ascertain if love is present. We all require a topic for gossip following the Luna Nozawa incident, correct? At Spencer Publications, the Luna controversy was devolving into a more sinister situation than anticipated. Liam leaned forward, incredulity obvious in every contour of his visage. Father, are you certain? Bill interrupted him. What appeared to be, Liam? Is it sweet? Innocent? That is precisely what she intended for you all to believe. Do you believe I failed to identify the game? I have observed it innumerable times. She employed her charisma to disarm individuals. However, beneath the surface? She is exceedingly calculating. He addressed Will, his tone stern yet paternal. Son, pay attention to me. Her actions were inappropriate. She exploited you in an unforgivable manner. It is imperative that you get this, none of this is attributable to you. You were not enamored by her. You were administered a substance without your consent. You were selected as a target. She exploited you. Will's complexion was ashen, his gaze vacant. She professed her love for me, he murmured. She stated that she did not intend for any of this to occur. Bill's eyes ignited with fury. Indeed, she did. Individuals of her ilk manipulate the narrative. She sought to convince you that she was fearful, defenseless, and misinterpreted. She understood that if she maintained the victim narrative for an extended period, one of us would eventually capitulate. Likely you. Katie gazed at Bill intently. Refrain, she cautioned. Refrain from assigning blame. Bill breathed, acknowledging that his fury was devolving into malice. He massaged the bridge of his nose. You are correct. He ceased speaking. In reality, Bill Spencer was unaccustomed to experiencing powerlessness. His entire kingdom was constructed on domination, of individuals, of perceptions, of results. However, Luna Nozawa had discovered the singular vulnerability in his defenses, his sons. Liam stood up and began to pace. What occurs next? She remains pregnant. The infant is still on its way. The statement lingered oppressively in the atmosphere. What actions are we expected to undertake? Allow her to utilize the infant as a leverage tool. Bill's tone became frigid. No. I am currently in communication with the attorneys. We will initiate proceedings for complete custody immediately upon the birth of the child. Luna may languish in incarceration. The youngster will be nurtured as a Spencer, with safeguarding, with security, with affection. Not as a mere instrument in her perverse scheme. Katie's lips quivered. What is the status of Will? She inquired softly. He will have to endure this for the remainder of his life. Understanding the origin of his first child, she paused, unable to continue. The anguish in Will's eyes conveyed everything. Bill directed his gaze towards him, his tone becoming gentler. We shall persevere, my son. You possess greater strength than you realize. You possess me, you possess us. However, Will remained uncertain. His reality had fragmented in manners for which he lacked terminology. He believed Luna was unique, an individual who recognized him, rather than only the Spencer surname. At present, each recollection seemed tainted. Each benevolent gesture, every laugh, and every touch. He tightened his fists. I desire to see her, he stated abruptly. Bill and Katie exchanged glances. Certainly not, Bill retorted. She is incarcerated for a reason. However, Will's voice escalated. I require answers, father. I require to hear it directly from her. I require an explanation for her actions. Katie's heart shattered at the anguish in her son's voice. She attempted to reach for him once again, but he rebuffed her, pacing restlessly like a confined beast. She deceived me. She administered a medication to me. She is currently pregnant with my child. I must ascertain the truth directly from her, rather than via you, the media, or any attorney. From her. Bill's expression became stern once more. Do you believe she will disclose the truth? She will merely exploit you once more, distorting your emotions. That is her action. You cannot grant her that authority. However, Bill was well aware that Will would remain unresponsive. His youngest son differed from him. He possessed Katie's sensitivity, her kind disposition, and her need for resolution. In this instance, his sympathy may draw him directly back into Luna's entanglement. Simultaneously, Daphne's inquisitive nature persisted in inciting her own turmoil. She returned to Carter's office, feigning the delivery of a file while seeking additional information. Thus, you and Hope, she said with a smirk. Is there still something present? Carter exhaled deeply, reclining. You truly do not relent, do you? Daphne emitted laughter. Not in the realm of romance. Enough, Carter, you have experienced misfortune in romance for an extended period. Perhaps Hope represents your redemption arc. Her statement resonated deeply, but before Carter could reply, Hope entered the room. What is the basis for the redemption arc? She inquired. Daphne smiled mischievously, reminiscent of a cat discovered near cream. Nothing of significance. You and Carter have an effective partnership, both on and off the runway. As Hope expressed her exasperation, the camera panned out, a quintessential Bold and the Beautiful technique, redirecting the audience's focus to the crux of the episode, Bill's disclosure. At Spencer Publications, the dispute had escalated ominously. Bill had just elucidated how Luna's fabricated black eye and purported in-prison assault constituted a sympathy tactic, a novel endeavor to deceive Will and the judiciary. She instructed her cellmate to assault her to create the appearance of being in peril, Bill stated. Thus, she could entice Will to visit, allowing her to assume the role of the frightened, naive expectant mother. She believes that by being sufficiently delicate, we will become more lenient. Liam was repulsed. That is impressive, Bill acknowledged. Precisely. Consequently, I am placing her in solitary confinement. I am requesting a favor from the warden. She receives no additional visitors. Not until after the baby is born, Katie exclaimed. Bill, you cannot, however, he interrupted her. Observe me. His tone permitted no dissent. That woman will not have another opportunity to manipulate my family. She has completed her task. However, The Bold and the Beautiful consistently reminds its audience that nothing is ever finalized. While Bill vowed to terminate Luna's influence, within the austere confines of the Los Angeles County Women's Facility, Luna Nozawa reclined on her cot, her palm resting on her abdomen, murmuring to the unborn child. Her eyes shimmered with a combination of trepidation and defiance. They believe they can separate you from me, she whispered gently. They believe they can annihilate me. However, they fail to comprehend that I am a Nozawa. I invariably discover a solution. Her comments reverberated in the dim cage as she grinned subtly, already strategizing her subsequent maneuver, the next deception, the next emotional tactic. The Bold and the Beautiful excels at illustrating that in Los Angeles, every romance is a conflict, every controversy possesses complexities, and every secret, regardless of its severity, will ultimately be revealed.